Absolutely, the violence was non-stop. It's all racial gangs. So I'm white. I go in. Skinheads from the Aryan Brotherhood come up to me like, "Hey, we want a word with you. Get in that cell over there." You can't say no to these guys. They're just going to smash your head into the wall. So go into the cell. They close the door behind me, so it's almost closed. Biggest one gets in my face. He's like, "What are your charges?" I'm new to this. My charges are on a computer printout. Legal terminology. I don't know what it means. So I give the worst answer in the world. I say, I don't know what my charges mean. Now they've got me against the wall about to attack me. What do you mean you don't know what your charges mean? Are you a chomo? Are you a chomo? I don't even know what a chomo is at this point.
You learn fast.
So that's child molester, and that is KOS, which means kill on sight.
Yeah.
So in the end, I pulled out my charge sheet. They saw I was in for drugs. They saw I had big charges. I had a big bail bond, conspiracy, $750,000 cash only. They were like, "God damn, you guys the mafia? Who guys were you killing or what?" I was like, "No, raves, ecstasy. We didn't kill anybody." And then they explain all the rules. It's like, if someone calls you a punk or a bitch or hits you, you have to fight them on the spot or else the whole gang will attack you. You must take showers or they'll smash you for bad hygiene. Can't go making friends with the guards, they'll smash you for snitching. Can't sit at the tables with other races, they'll smash you for that. So they're constantly looking for people to beat up because that's how they earn their reputations and tattoos. To rise up in the gang, you've got to commit increasing acts of violence. To be fully patched into the AB, you've got to kill someone for them in the jail. So there's 4 gangs. There's the white gang is the AB, Aryan Brotherhood. Then you've got the Mau Mau is the black gang. Then you've got the Chicanos, and then you've got the Paisas. You've got like the old Mexican mafia. So it's just constant gang warfare in there, and it's all about the drugs. The absolute priority of the gang is getting the drugs in. Approximately 90% of the prisoners were injecting heroin, injecting crystal meth. The whole day just revolved around getting the drugs in. And that's why these jails now have created the ideal target market for gang members to sell drugs to because they can't get out of jail. And they've even got the guards bringing the drugs in for them to sell to them. And most of these people were arrested for crimes related to drugs. Young people came in back then. The biggest arrest category was weed possession. And then they leave addicted to heroin. They've got neo-Nazi tattoos. They've made their criminal connections in prison. They've got a criminal record. They can't get a job. And by the time they get out, they're converted into full-on criminals. Everybody I saw who got released just came right back. It's really sad. But that's how the prisons stay in business. It's $50,000 a year of taxpayers' money per prisoner as soon as they come back.
I'd written down, does that cruelty prevent repeat offenders? I wanted the answer to that, because it would make me not want to go back again. But I guess I just
It makes me not want to go.
Right? But it sounds like it creates better criminals or bigger criminals.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, there's the deterrent factor, but Arizona prides itself on that. It says we've got the toughest prisons. If you look at FBI stats, Arizona's got some of the highest reoffending in the whole of the country. So it's to do with the war on drugs. If you mass incarcerate low-level drug users, which is what most prisoners are, in the TV you see prisoners are like Pablo Escobar, Hannibal Lecter. That's all the media reports is extreme crimes on one side and how easy they got it on the other. They got PlayStations, they got gourmet food, they got luxuries. And this is how the media tricks the public into hating on prisoners. But when you get in there, the average arrest I saw was a black kid or a Mexican kid with a little bit of weed getting like a 2 to 5 year sentence. I had a cellmate who got caught with a roach. He got a 18-month sentence. I was there when a Vietnam vet got sentenced. A black guy, he'd been shot in the head by a sniper. He'd won Purple Heart Medal for bravery. Prosecutor said he's unemployed. He's got a nice new car. There was some crumbs of cocaine on the car. He must be a dealer. And judge was like, bam, sent him away for almost 10 years like that. So it's a prison industrial complex that preys on the poorest sections of society. One cop said, I just go into a black neighborhood and make my arrest quota. It's like shooting fish in a barrel.
Sure. I want to circle all the way back around to that bail hearing, because that had to be one of those moments where you're like just on the cusp of victory. and victory is snatched away, and you fall into the jaws of defeat because you were in minimum security, which wasn't fun, but not the worst scenario ever.
I was in medium.
Oh, medium. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then because of the way that bail hearing went down and them doubling your bail essentially, because you went over a $1 million bail, you're automatically upgraded to maximum security. And that's when you got sent to the Roach Motel.
Yeah, and I've been in Towers Jail for a year. I know all the slang. I know the prison walk. So the next day when I woke up in max security, I've got to go to the white table now, the Woods, and they're going to determine now whether they're going to accept me or they're going to smash me. This is max security. They're nearly all in there for murder. There was a few crystal meth chemists. So I walk up to the table, doing the prison walk with all the slang. Like, what up, Wood? What up, Wood? Where did you roll in from, Wood?
Ahoy,
Towers Jail. They made my bail bond over $1 million, so I got reclassed to max. They're like, what are you in for, Wood? Ecstasy. So they're asking me all these questions, and I'm thinking, I'm fitting in with these guys. They're going to accept me. Then I go back to my room, and hours later, the head of the gang, he comes down with all of his legal paperwork, and he says, I want you to read this for me and tell you if this plea bargain they're offering me is reasonable. So they saw through my act and saw I was an educated person, and I was a resource to them.
That's really funny.
They could tell I knew how to read, so now I'm the professor.
British guy.
A third of the prisoners could not read or write. In max security, I set up a class for the Mexicans, teaching them how to write home in Spanish, because a lot of them worked out in the countryside and they couldn't read and write. Then the Aryan Brotherhood put a green light to have me smashed for helping another race. I had an independent tough guy who was my cellmate at the time, Joe, and he intervened with the gang and they allowed me to keep helping the Mexicans.
Shaun, can you move your mic closer?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That sounds so.
That's awful.
That sounds fucking horrible. But something I want to So you got there, the Aryans approach you in your cell, and then kind of how does that relationship go from there? Like you said, there's no turning them down. You have to kind of play the game. Were there ever times where it was like, hey, you just earned your first swastika tattoo. Come on in. And you're like, no, actually, guys get they also used an eagle. Let's do a real generic eagle. Can you make it look like the Philadelphia Eagles?
I saw one skinhead. He had a tattoo of Hitler on his chest.
No subtlety.
Zeke Heiling over a gas chamber with Jewish people dying inside the gas chamber. Yeah. Now, here's what helped me out.
Intricate.
Here's what helped me out.
Hey, Shaun, can you move your mic a lot closer?
Yeah. Is it going to go over the screen now? Is that okay?
Oh, so much better. My God. Yeah.
All right, over 100 people arrested with me, including some of my bouncers from the raves I was throwing, including my best friend from my hometown, who is a massive guy. He co-interviews people with me on my YouTube channel called Wildman. He's like the UK Joey Diaz.
Oh, I've seen that guy. Yes, he is the UK Joey Diaz.
His fists are twice the size of mine, and they're just all human teeth marks all over them. He's a good guy to get arrested with. So once the AB guys in Towers Jail found out I was with Wildman and that we were one of the biggest crews in the jail, we had a coexistence with them, and none of our clique got smashed.
Jesus Christ.
In that first year, that was when we were all together.
I think
what was your relation to the guy with the Hitler tattoo? Was he just like, oh no, that's Alan? I think there's some other guy who's like, even Alan goes a little far for us. I mean, Hitler chose a perfectly fine signet for us to use, and he goes for the whole portrait thing. None of us are on board with that. Don't think we're all like.
Let's put it this way: when the head of the whites got moved out of our building, and there was a white boy meeting, and we had to vote on the new head of the whites, I didn't vote for that skinhead. I vote for Marco, who was out of the Italian mafia. the Italian mafia took over from the Aryan Brotherhood in that pod, and it was the best we ever had it. Like, these guys were running the show. Outside the jail at night, when we were all locked down, when we were all supposed to be asleep, Marco was outside the jail with the guards, smoking and giving them orders. Whenever we got raided, he would find out in advance, and anything the guards took, all our bedding and everything, would get all fresh stuff from other guards, would bring it right back to us. He had a legal visit from his girlfriend. In legal visits, the guards can't watch, so his girlfriend would come in as a legal visitor and give him blowjobs in the legal visitation room. Nice. And there was like the least violence ever under Marco's rule. I wrote a whole chapter about it in Hard Time, and it was the best of the time in Towers Jail was when the Italian mafia were running the show.